Ngayon pong araw na ito po, attorney, ay huling submission ng memoranda ng magkabilang panig para po doon
Yes.
sa request na mag-issue po ng subpoena sa mga tax documents, maging doon din sa bank or sa tax documents po. Ulitin natin, mahalaga ba ito, lalo na doon sa pagpapaliwanag sa pamamagitan ba ng tax documents, malalaman kung merong katiwalian na ginawa ang isang individual sa gobyerno?
Well, actually, no, what's clear about this tax documents is that it involves also the tax records of Attorney Mans Carpio, who is not a public officer and who is actually a private person, no? Although asawa po siya ni Inday Sara. So, that is the problem, no? Because it should only cover the Vice President and also only at the time that she is the Vice President. Alam to po natin na meron namang tax record si BP Inday Sara dahil nga sa nakaka-receive naman siya ng salary. So, yung mga income tax returns na yun siguro ang mga relevance, no? But I haven't seen the respective memorandas ng mga party because the other hand, ang prosecution, hindi man nila talaga alam ko anong laman nun. It may be fishing expedition or it may just be for purposes of optics para ipakita kung ano yung magnitude ng mga tax remittances, no, and payments by the spouses. But I see it kasi kung if I am the defense, I will question the relevance ng mga tax records na yon. And at the same time, why would it involve a private person in the person of Attorney Mans Carpio?
Opo, ganun din sa tanong kung pwede ba na ito'y ipresenta sa isang impeachment trial considering itong mga possible na mga tax records na ito ay bago pa ang kanyang pagiging impeachable official.
Well, yes, pwede naman, no? Because under the NARC is pwede naman ito in cases of impeachment, no? But ang question nga nito is ang relevancy. Is it really relevant to the claim of the prosecution, particularly doon sa unexplained wealth, no? Would that define or would that explain any unexplained wealth? Meron bang difference? Meron bang disparity based on the alleged na nakalagay sa SALE niya? Take note that nga, meron ka siyang sariling income tax records, no? And maybe that could be, but it should confine itself doon lang po sa panahon na Vice President si Inday Sara and should not include that portion that involves Mans Carpio. Kasi ang mangyayari kasi nito is that sigurado ako nito, ipapalabas ito just for the purpose of satisfying, no, the mind of the public na or painting in the mind of the public na ito po yung mga transactions na, no? Kung babusiin po, katulad nung sa SALN nila at saka sa AMLAC records na mag-start ng 2006, that would be unfair. So, yun pong relevance and materiality. At the same time, the coverage of it is very important, no? In order to determine kung acceptable ba ito hindi. Kaya nga, I believe that that would be the attack of the defense in disallowing the stock records to be opened in the impeachment proceedings.
Pero attorney, sakali man na merong mali doon sa tax records, no, pwede ba si BIR na dito ang busisi at hindi na umabot sa dito sa impeachment trial? Kasi ang mapapansin nila, bakit ngayon lang?
Of course, alam mo naman natin na talagang ang purpose dito is fishing and the same time politically motivated, no? In fact, if kung meron sanang mali doon, the BIR had long ago issued yung letter of authority to conduct investigation dito sa mga bagay na ito. But nevertheless, wala naman, no? So, piningi ngayon just to somehow check on magko-coincide ba doon sa SALN at saka sa AMLAC records, no? But as I see it, if the prosecution hasn't seen it, ang nilalaman noon, hindi nila alam. So therefore, it might tantamount to what we call nga fishing expedition.
Opo, dito naman po sa ikalawang witness na ilalatag po ng prosecution, sa NBI din ito. Sa tingin niyo po, redundant na ito or hindi pa ba sapat yung unang witness nila na mismong nag-fieldwork or mismong talagang nanguna sa investigasyon? Ano sa tingin niyo po, Attorney?
Mar, in my analysis is that yung kasing si Kalilong, yung first witness, ang purpose lang kasi ng testimony niya dapat is to authenticate yung video na di-download niya. Okay? Which we know for a fact na nagkalat nga sa internet. Yun lang po dapat because yung elements ng grave threats hindi dapat sa kanya. Kasi ang kanyang part lang sa kanyang investigation is he was directed to download it through EBS, tapos i-authenticate it, paano i-preserve, at paano transmit sa COJ, etc. Whereas, I think ito pong NBI director ngayon na magta-testify, siya siguro yung nag-lead talaga ng investigation to determine yung elements po talaga ng offense or ng crime. No? He will be the one to discuss that when they submitted this affidavits of investigation, binalik ng DOJ dahil nga may kulang, mayroong 7 grounds na dapat i-comply, malalaman kung kinumply. In effect, in short, that ang purpose ng testimony na ito is to tell us ano ang reason nila at na-comply yung elements ng grave threats at bakit na-file.
Doon sa pangalawang witness, itong si Attorney Zulaika Lopez, ano ho yung inaasahan ho ninyo? Kasi hindi po siya nakakausap, hindi tulad itong iba pang mga witness ng prosecution ay possible. May personal na pakikipag-usap na pwede pa nilang i-meeting, i-briefing kung ano yung mga possible na itatanong dito nga sa kanila. Pero itong si Attorney Zulaika Lopez, ano po yung nakikita po ninyong posibleng advantage ba o magiging disadvantage yan para sa prosecution?
That would depend, no? Because she is going to be presented as an adverse witness. Witness nga siya na prosecution as listed, but of course, adverse in a sense na hostile siya. Hindi naman siya kakampi ng prosecution. Now, is that allowed? Yes. Ano ba ang magiging testimony niya? At bang gustong kunin ng prosecution sa kanyang bibig? Now, this is my analysis. No? Number one is that, siyempre, may issue doon sa video na kina-question ang authenticity, etc. Although in my mind, hindi naman yun important kasi meron nga. No? Diyan naman, di naman dinideny ng defense ni BP na meron ganon. However, I think one of the questions would be to say that during the time na nag-utter ng mga words si BP Inday Sara, she was there. She heard it, she was present. That would somehow cement the fact na talagang nangyari yung pangyayari na yon. And second is that it's possible also na for purposes of some sort of making reaction, making BP Inday Sara to react on it. No? Take note that the main reason na nagalit si BP Inday was when itong si Attorney Zulaika Lopez yung kinontempt at tapos ipinakulong, dinetain, tapos nililipat, nagkagulo. That was the main, no? And maybe ang psychological na effect on this, i-relieve ba? Bubuhayin ulit ng prosecution. Baka, along the way, magkamali si BP Inday at magkakaroon na naman ng comment, no? So, yun aking nakikita. I do not see any other reason for Zulaika Lopez to testify. That is my analysis. However, based dun sa katanungan mo kung favorable ba to o hindi, it's not that much favorable. It may also favor the defense, no? Because Zulaika Lopez may be able to explain bakit siya nandoon at anong nararamdaman niya at that time, bakit niya nasabi yun, at bakit nandyan si BP Inday. Makita niya yung atmosphere, may palatag niya, ma-explain niya yung anong atmosphere ng sitwasyon, yung tense situation at that time, kung bakit nagkaroon po ng ganong pagsasalita, including her crying as well as BP Inday Sara's anger and frustration dahil nga sa pinipersecute nga siya ng mga kalaban niya. True sa kanya, mismo siya, at saka true sa kanyang mga tao.
Yung unang witness na si NBI Agent Kalilong, sa tingin mo na-establish na yung authenticity? Ito, hindi yung issue ng authenticity ang pinag-uusapan natin, kundi yung context ng sinabi po mismo ni VP Sara Duterte.
Yes po. Yung context is napalabas na prosecution, no? Yung sinabi ni BP Inday. However, napalabas din ng defense yung konteksto nila by showing also the the image or the video of Zuleika Lopez crying, no? So pinapa-establish nila yung environment obtaining at that time kung ano yung nangyayari, bakit nagkaroon ng salita, no? So yung kanyang expression, yung kanyang anger, yung dahil doon, somehow yun ang theory ng defense, no, na nga parati pong ginigipit na ito si BP Inday. However, with respect sa authenticity, ako I believe, no, the issue on whether authentic ito is immaterial. I think what the defense is trying to prove, was it legally obtained in a sense, no, that wala bang selective investigation? Kasi bakit nakatuon lang ang process doon lang sa pag-investigate against BP Inday? Bakit hindi inimbestigahan yung threat din sa buhay ni BP Inday Sara? Why she uttered those words? Now, this is very important because they are also mandated to investigate it because he is the second highest elected official in the land. So dapat po, yun ang in-establish. Kaya ang tanong isa sa mga tanong ng Defense Council was that talaga nag-investigate ba kayo? Or baka ang theory niya is that ito is para lang talaga gipitin si BP Inday kasi siya lang ang pinili ninyong pailan ng kaso. How about yung pag-imbestiga doon sa part na merong banta sa buhay ni BP Inday, no? So, I think that would be yung context na pinapaloob nila, na ang investigation na yun, it is not a real investigation purposely to establish na yung pumapagbabanta sa buhay, but it is a one-sided investigation addressed or against only BP Inday Sara.
Opo, bago ko lang ipasa kay partner Admar attorney. So ngayon, itong second witness, ang malinaw dito, baga more on substance na yung inaasahan natin ngayon na
Yes.
pag-uusapan na dito nga sa trial ng pangalawang Pangulo.
Yes po. He will corroborate the video that was downloaded, and at the same time he will now discuss on the substance, no, yung elements ng kaso, bakit na i-file, no, so yung elements ng grave threats, no, and that would be the primary testimony na gagawin po dyan. And when he did that, tatanungin din definitely ng defense kung nakatuon lang ba kayo sa investigation of the threat against the president or nag-take over din po kayo sa pag-investigate din doon sa banta sa buhay ni Inday. Bakit hindi nyo ginawa ang dalawa? Bakit hindi in-involve yung mga ibang agencies in the government? That's how I see it, no? And that should be the pattern, no? Para nga ma-establish na walang selective investigation na nangyari.
Attorney, dito po sa nakalipas na dalawang pagdinig, no? Kasi dito naman yung pagpepresenta, kasama na yung cross-examination sa witness. Marami
Yes.
tayong mga narinig na mga objections. Sa nakikita nyo po, maaring pwedeng talakayin yan ngayon na magkaroon ng medyo hindi ganun na senaryo para mas lalo tuloy-tuloy na mapakinggan ang mga witness. Nakikita nyo po ba yan na posibleng i-rule ng presiding officer? Magkaroon ng leeway po?
Well, actually, ang objections are part of the process, no? Depende kasi sa pagtatanong. Kasi kung ang pagtatanong is no longer within the purposes for which the witness is offered, or that the witness has no personal knowledge, or that the witness is incompetent or irrelevant ang testimony niya or leading, then those are objectionable grounds under the rules on evidence. Normal po yan. Sa aming mga abogado, pag makakita kami ng objectionable questions, we try to point it out that mali yung kanyang objection. We will ask for a ruling from the presiding officer. So, depende po yan sa pagtatanong. Kasi kung ang pagtatanong talaga is walang optics, yung totoo lang talaga, yung nasa purpose lang, at saka diretso-diretso, I think wala naman ding objection. Yun po kasi ang nangyayari. Because minsan mahaluan kasi the manner it is being asked, no? And the purpose ng testimony. Sometimes tatanungin kasi yung testigo na hindi naman niya kalam-alam kung bakit siya mag-testify. Ang magbibigay siya ng opinion which is either incompetent siya or irrelevant naman doon sa kanyang purpose kung bakit siya pinresenta as testigo.
Doon naman sa participation ng ibang mga senator judge sa pagtatanong din sa mga witness, inyo po bang ini-encourage?
Well, I hope na they should have created a rule na they should not ask questions sa mga lawyers, no, ng prosecution and the defense. They have to conduct their questions or ask questions to the witnesses, yung tinatawag nating clarificatory questions only, but not on the merits of the case. Kung ano lang po yung tinestigo niya at gusto nilang maintindihan lalo, no? Ang problema kasi, if they try to cover up and repair something na kapag na-destroy yung witness, magtatanong siya to, to fill up the gaps, no? Hindi na po yun siya tama, hindi na objective, nagiging bias na. However, as I see it, nangyari ngayon sa dalawang pagdinig, well, na-realize ko talaga na talagang impeachment proceeding is not about legal, it's more on political. We cannot stop them and, the presiding officer cannot stop them. Alam ka naman, i-contempt niya yung mga kasarili niyang senator judges, di ba?
Opo. Siguro bilang panghuli na lang, mensahe niyo po sa ating mga kababayan na tututok po dito sa pangalawang linggo ng impeachment trial laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte.
Well, as I always say, Admar, no, sa ating mga kababayan po, magpili po tayo ng tamang forum para makinig. Yung pong nagbibigay po talaga ng totoong naratibo, hindi po yung isang forum na fake news, no? I would strongly suggest to watch ito po SMNI na nagbibigay po talaga ng accurate, no? And balance po reporting, no? And if there will be instances that would somehow favor the defense, which on my part, I also conduct my own podcast. Kasi hindi rin namin kasalanan because ang aming pong purpose talaga is to find truth and justice and supported by law and constitution. We don't need to bend the law. We don't need to twist the law as well as its interpretation. Kaya nga po, mainam po, makinig po kayo sa proper, no? At patuloy po tayo magmamatsyag kasi dahil po mayroon tayong pagmamatsyag at pagsasalita that will make us stronger. Everyone will be entitled to his own opinion as long as it is covered by free speech. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat si Attorney Raymond Batu ng Batu and Partners Law Firm. Mamaya makakasama pa natin yan siya para sa pagtalakay pa dito. Samantala, speaking of pagtalakay, patuloy yung pagtutok natin sa muling kaganapan dyan po sa Senado bago pa man ang pag-umpisa ng Day 4 ng impeachment trial. Mamaya sa ating pagbabalik ay makakasama naman natin ang ating mga kapartner sa programang Sa Totoo Lang, sina Attorney Rowena Guanzon at si Binibining Cathy Binag. Standby lang kayo dyan, magbabalik pa ang ating special coverage.